Hey folks, Heretic here, and today in the Battlegrounds, we're going to be talking about bad habits. Things we really shouldn't do. Be them serious or funny, things that we do that hurt our gameplay, and how we can get better overall if possible. They're definitely hurdles we all need to work to overcome, so let's start working on them today by identifying them, and hopefully in the future, making us not make these mistakes consistently. Let's start right off the bat with the start of the game. Heroes' tribes. You really should, right off the bat, be trying to think about what you want to do. What's the best hero with the tribes offered? What are the win conditions with those tribes? Are you good at playing the hero? Do you want to get better, or you should just take the safe option? Look at these heroes, for example. You have Thorum, Deathwing, Wagtoggle, and Gorfiend, and for tribes, we have Dragons, Murloc, Naga, Quilboar, Undead. Well, Thorum can be good with any of those. But we don't have Elementals, we don't have Pirates. I like both Elementals or Pirates because they give me extra cycling, especially Pirates because of Free-Dealing Gambler. That makes me like Thorum even more. That's just me, though. If we look at Deathwing, I prefer Deathwing if I have to play Deathwing with mechs, but mechs aren't in. So I looked at Deathwing here and said, not really my option. Look at Wagtoggle. I don't want to ever play Wagtoggle. I don't like Wagtoggle. Not a hero to me. Then look at Gorfiend. Gorfiend is one of my favorite. Gorfiend only needs death rattles to function. So I look at these heroes and I say, well, I'm either going to play Thorum or I'm going to play Terran. Now, when I look at options for win conditions, we can do everything, and we know Terran works best with death rattles. So if I play Dragons, there's no real option for Terran, so that'd be a Thorum play. If I play Murlocs, there's a couple different things like Scourfin and other ways we could trigger a couple fun things with Terran. So a little bit to Terran, but just as much to Thorum. And look at Naga. That's obviously all Thorum. I look at Quilboar. Terran can do Quilboar pretty effectively. But then again, Thorum, if you get the right thing, can't too. And if I look at Undead, obviously Terran is fantastic, and Thorum's Undead minion is not great. So what should you play? Thorum is obviously good here. He's not as easy to activate as hero power, but with spells in now, you can get it a lot faster. But Terran is an easier path to victory in my mind, because you can do Quilboar, you can do Murlocs, and you can do Undead relatively effectively. So in this lobby, myself, I always go Terran. Maybe yours is a different play, but if you chose Wagtoggle, I can tell you, you're definitely wrong. But you really need to look at the win conditions with those tribes and what your hero can enable. Thorum has an easier path if you high roll by far than Terran does. But Terran is more likely to get you to the top 4, in my opinion, in this shop. Being distracted. Hey folks, I have lots of people who come in my chat and who watch my videos and go, hey Heretic, why do you think you can give people advice and make guides on how to play the game? You're an 8-9K player. Why the hell should I listen to you when I can go listen to someone who's 15, 16K? And you know, it's a valid argument. I have extreme ADHD. I've been diagnosed. It's bad. I take medicine for it. But basically, if a squirrel farts a mile away, I'm distracted. Every single little thing distracts me. My chat talks to me. Someone walks by the room, someone drops something heavy across the house through my noise canceling earset. I hear it and I am distracted. I am an extreme case. I have suffered my whole life for it because I'm so easily distracted and can't focus at all. But you also suffer from that, whether or not you realize it. Even if you're great at multitasking, the moment you say do this while playing the game.
He says salutations Blizzard CS. Jolly question here, but if I want to get someone target banned in WoW,
are not playing at 100%. You have now split your attention. No matter how good you think you are and you consistently win, you could be doing better. I want you to have me open on the other window, listening to me bullshit and having a good time. But if you want to win, you need to give 100% of your focus. And if you don't enjoy the game when you're giving 100% of your focus, just accept the fact that you're not going to be as good as you could be and have fun playing the game. Just remember that if you don't split all of your attention through these many millions of distractions we have, you will do better. Playing a hero you don't really understand how to play. Millhouse Manastorm is a very simple hero. Minions cost 2, but tiering costs 1 more than it usually does. But the first time you play that is surprisingly confusing because you don't think about all the options of cards that can give you more value, like Free-Dealing Gambler, or tokens like Patient Scout, which are essentially free, and spells that can give you even crazier value. But then when you buy a spell, that costs 6 with Millhouse. That's even more painful because now when you roll, basically your turn's over. So these are things you need to learn to get better at the game. So after you lose with Millhouse, do you learn from that mistake and go watch a video on how people play him? Or you just go, I'm never going to play Millhouse again. He's horrible. Learn how to play. It's fine if you get destroyed playing a hero you don't understand. You should, especially if it's something like Millhouse, which is fundamentally different from how you usually play the game. But if it's something simple, of course you're going to grasp it right away. Don't be surprised. But these heroes like Millhouse, Trade Prince Gallywix are going to give you these bigger options into the game that you hadn't considered until you give them a chance. Then you realize, oh, I don't really understand them. Go do some little research. Go watch a YouTube video or two, and you will get a lot better at the game. Leveling blindly. Now, what do I mean when I say leveling blindly? Leveling blindly is you don't have a plan. Maybe you know a curve. Like we'll just go with basic curve for an example. You know when you're supposed to tier. So you tier exactly to this. But why? Because it doesn't necessarily make the best gameplay. If it's turn 4 and you're looking at a shop full of garbage, why are you going to buy all tier 1 minions if there's a spell that will allow you to tier and at least get some economy for the following turn? Yeah, you're probably going to lose that fight if you tier now, but you're already probably going to lose that fight if you also buy the all tier 1 minions. Sometimes you're better off just tiering. And yeah, you're going to lose more than likely in the short term, but if you look at your opponent and you say, okay, well, he didn't hit his last opponent for 15 somehow this early in the game, we should be fine. You're probably better off trying to get to those higher tier minions as opposed to just buying garbage. So always think before you execute your turn and go, well, is it better to just level here? Is that greedy? Am I going to take excessive damage? It depends where you are in the game and how relatively strong you are. But if it's super early and the shop is utter garbage with nothing you really want on your board, why are you going to buy it? Just tier if you can, take the damage now, and later get the better minions. Tunneling. Now, when I say tunneling, I mean forcing a build no matter what. That's like saying, oh, turn 1, I have to be playing N'Zoth. Well, N'Zoth's hero power is a beast, thus I am a beast board, ignoring all other options. You know, if you're sitting there looking at a Scourfin and going, I don't care, I'm a beast player, and ignoring that option, you are making a mistake and making yourself significantly weaker in the long run. Say early turn 3, you find 2 Eternal Knights, and you're like, oh, I'm an undead board. And that's true, you do have a lot of tempo and you have an early path to undead, but then later, if you triple into a Goldrinn and you already have 2 beasts, are you an undead board? I mean, maybe that Goldrinn's a better option. You really want to weigh your options and constantly be thinking, you know, am I looking at a win condition that I already have? And is the one I'm looking at infinitely better than the one I have? And can I survive changing to it? We never want to force a build. That is the biggest mistake I think people make. It's going, I am this tribe. I am playing this no matter what. I am playing Professor Putricide, thus I am undead. Like, well, yeah, your hero power gives you 3 undead minions, but that doesn't mean you can't change your hero power later. That doesn't mean you can't be more nimble and turning to a win condition of something else. Just because your hero power lends you to doing one thing, if you're given the keys to the kingdom of something else, why not play that something else? Not playing enough tempo. So what I mean is, in the early game, when you're trying to get your board going and you don't want to take a ton of damage, make sure you're buying tempo. So you need to buy the cards that have high stats so you can win fights, or abilities that synergize together. Now, obviously, big stats are going to win fights typically, but if you have someone with a bunch of little weenie undead minions and they throw down a Nerubian Swarmer early, that is going to give them big value. If they have a sore loser in the back, even better, because now they're going to hit even harder. So you need to look for tempo in the early game to enable you to not lose health, so you can then turn that momentum into having the time to then get the combo pieces to find your win condition and get that game going in the right direction, not scouting your opponent. So what I mean is, hover over their portrait, take a look at what they're doing in the game. If you look at their board and you see that there's a way to counter it, they're playing all undead, you have 3 extra gold in a slot in the board, and there's a Sin'dorei in the shop, why aren't you going to buy the Sin'dorei to counter them? Unless there's a damn good reason to buy one of the other minions, you should take the counterplay. You might have to reposition different. If your last opponent wasn't running a cleave, but next opponent you know has 2 cleave minions, you definitely don't want to leave your Titus next to the taunt. Scouting your next opponent lets you make critical decisions about positioning and how you should take this turn. If you see your next opponent has done 15 damage to everyone they're fighting and is tearing nonstop and your board is weak, there's a good chance they're going to do 15 damage to you. So do you just tier? Well, it depends how much health you have. Maybe you just tier, you buy meta minions next turn because you know you're going to lose. Do you scout your opponent, see he's won every fight by 15 damage, but you look at the opponents he's fought and you've been fighting them too and they're very weak? He's not that strong. You definitely need to scout your opponent every single turn. Just peek at them, take a look at them. Because that one turn you're not paying attention and you don't have a bump minion, and you're sitting there and your next opponent is Alakir, you've just wasted your biggest minion into his Divine Shield taunt. It could have Venom or whatever craziness it has. But you didn't bother to just hover your mouse over for a half second to see they change their hero power. You really need to pay attention and always scout, especially in the later game when people can be changing their abilities and their setups and pivoting into different builds. You need to know what they're doing. Hero powering for no reason. Now, if it's a free hero power, not really a problem, but if you're spending gold to not really get any use out of it, are you a Scabs and you have 7 beasts and you look at your next opponent, you scout him, and oh look, he's playing all pirates. Why are you going to hero power? What is he going to give you? Yeah, it's 2 gold for a minion, so you get it and you can sell it, so it really only costs you 1 gold, but what is it going to give you? You really need to scout your opponent and take a look and see what I could be getting from them and see if it's even worth using your hero power. If you're playing Rafam and they're all undead and your beasts, what is Rafam's hero power going to give you? There's no way you're going to get anything of value. So don't waste your time with it. Rolling. Now, rolling is a tough subject because a lot of people want to find the perfect minion or they're not happy with what's in the shop. Sometimes we're tunneling, sometimes we're trying to complete a build. It's all depending where you are in the game. In the early game, you need to buy stats. Can't afford to tier, you've taken too much damage, you fought Millhouse on turn 2, you fought AFK on turn 3, you're hemorrhaging life everywhere, then you need to buy the best stats you see. Don't worry about synergy unless they give you a lot more tempo. Just buy the biggest stats you can find. Don't roll to find the perfect minions if you're hemorrhaging health. Try to stabilize, try not to finish 8th. At least that way you're not giving up as many points. In the late game, oh, well, Heretic, I'm tier 6 and I've got a Reborn Goldrin and I've got a Hawkstrider. All I need is a Titus. I'm gonna roll all my gold away and ignore every other option given to me till I find Titus. And no, I've been there. I know that pain when you're like, I just need 1 card. And you look at the shops, nobody's playing anything that needs a Titus. No, they're all in the pool. You're tier 6. The chances of you rolling a Titus are very low. Get what it is? I think it's like 4%, 3% when you're up tier 6 to roll one every time. It's not a cumulative. It's just every time. And those odds are not great. I mean, yeah, if we're talking versus playing the Powerball, yes, those odds are phenomenal, but they're still not good. Maybe this is a lesson to why you shouldn't be playing Powerball, because look at the odds difference. I mean, it's insane. So that being said, do not roll excessively if you're given another option. Yes, if you find that Titus in the scenario, you're going to be unstoppable. But if you pass a couple things up that make your board stronger, well, they may not be perfect. You're still making yourself weaker by just rolling away unless you get lucky. A handful of pairs. What if it's turn 8 and you've got 4 sets of 2 and you're sitting there and you got a board full of pairs and you got some pairs in your hand and you're like, I just need to hang on to one for a triple. Okay. You know, we've all been there. We all think we're going to roll 1 time and it's going to be there. I've got all these pairs. What are the odds of it not? Pretty bad. They're pretty bad because you're more likely going to lose your fights because you only have pairs. And yeah, it's fine if you've got 10 gold to roll a couple times. You know, if there are a bunch of tier 1 ones, Patient Scout, pop it, discover, go nuts. Maybe your hero power is going to help you get it. Those are all good reasons to try. But if you're down to 3 golds and it's the difference between keeping another one of those pairs and rolling again, probably finding nothing, or taking something that's going to give you some kind of synergy to possibly win the fight, or enough tempo to at least minimize the damage, it's time to start cutting pairs. Yeah, I know it hurts, and I know as soon as you roll, that triple is going to be there, but just think of it as being the minion you just sold back in the shop as the one that appears. There's nothing you can do. Hindsight's 2020. Just play the damn game so you don't lose. It's great. Sometimes you have 4 pairs and you find all the triples in one turn. More often than not, you die holding a handful of pairs. Don't hold pairs forever. Just think about what you need to cut. Say you're tier 5 and you got a pair of water droplets and you got a pair of surf and surf, one of each on the board, and you got to cut one of them right now. Then what's going to help you win if you triple into anything good? Well, odds are nothing's going to synergize with the water droplet, so let's not worry about that. But hey, if we manage to get either a Goldrin or a Lord of Gains, both will work with the surf and surf. So now we have 2 options that actually will continue to synergize with this. So because of that, let's cut the water droplet. Either way, I hope you're not on tier 5 with these 2 pairs in your hand, because you're in a lot of trouble. You're probably about to die. Faceless Disciple in Ritual Growth. I get asked this a lot. Sometimes people are like, are these cards good? Are they bad? And it's situational depending where you are. I will very often throw out a Faceless and try to get that big high tier minion. If you've got a brand, you tripled into a brand and you're on tier 4, shoot for it. Go for a 6 in the shop. Why not? You got 2 Ritual Growths and you've got 2 tier 4s in the shop. Play both those Ritual Growths, get a tier 6. These effects can stack. You can be sneaky and work these as combinations together. People ask me, are they good cards or are they just a bad habit to play with? It depends where you are. If your board's a bunch of cheap tier 1 and 2 minions, Faceless Disciple is going to evolve something in the shop, and they're a 6/4 body. Ritual Growth is only 2 gold. So if you're at 10 gold, Ritual Growth's a steal. If you're at 2 gold, well, I guess you could buy it and hang on to it for the turn after, but otherwise, whatever you evolve, you're not going to be able to buy now, and if you're about to die and you're weak, not a good idea. It's knowing when you're weak, and when you're strong, and when you can take these chances. It goes back to scouting, it goes back to a plan, everything rolls together, and cards like this are completely random, so you really need to look at the cards you're going to hit when you try doing this. Evolving into a tier 5 is a big pool of minions. There's a lot of minions typically at tier 5. Tier 6, not so bad. There's not nearly as many, so you have a better chance at hitting what you want. But in your particular game, are the tier 6s for the most part bad? Are there only 2 good ones? Is there only 1 that's good for your board? Probably not going to hit that. Just save your gold. Tripling a card without really thinking about it. Now, I'm not talking about the accidental triples where your hero power randomly gives you a triple, or one is generated in such a way where now you're kind of left in a position where you really can't afford to not play it. What I mean is when you're in your middle of your turn, you're doing some cards, and all of a sudden you see you have a triple. Now, the question is there something else you can buy so you can hold off on that triple if the next tier's minions right now are not good? Because next turn, you might be able to tier, then get that triple, and then get better value, depending on what your build you're trying to do and where you are in your game. But typically, you're going to find better quality triples at higher tiers. Obviously, there's exception to these rules, but typically that is going to be your rule of thumb. So if that meta is like that right now and the better minions are at the higher tier, then if you can afford to wait, don't just take the triple. If you're sitting at tier 2 and you get a triple, don't just take a tier 3 triple. Wait a turn. Buy other things in the shop if you can. Hold on to them, then tier, then take the triple and get the tier 4 instead. Hold it. Maybe you can afford. Maybe you're strong enough. Maybe you have enough momentum where you can go for a 5 or even a 6 if you're crazy strong somehow. Depending on your hero, could be very possible. But really, think about it before you triple. Don't just get excited and take that triple. Really think about what you're going to get in the minions that are going to be offered to you in the next tier and the tier after before you take it. And hey, I had already recorded this and then quests came out, so why not throw in a quick quest tip? First things first, remember you have a quest. So there's some ways you can cheese this to your advantage, and there are some ways that you can really mess it up. So when you're doing quest, try to remember that on turn 3, you can hold those cards and play them on turn 4. Now, if you're running a hero that say has 5 armor, maybe not. But if you're running a hero with, 12, 15 armor. Why not? That way you can get a leg up on your quest when you start it on turn 4. Because let's say you hold on to 2 battle cries. That could be half your quest already if it's a say play 4 battle cry quest. You can get a big advantage by just hanging on to these if you can afford, that damage depending on the hero you're playing. When you look at those quests that you have to do, take a look and make sure you actually can complete them. One of those quest rewards might be the greatest quest reward for what you want to play with your hero ever. But if it's impossible to do, don't do it. If it's 110 gold to complete the quest, all you do is spend it. You're never going to complete it. Sometimes I see ones that are like, sell X minions, and they're ridiculously high. And I'm like, that means you have to buy those minions before you sell them. And most of the time, you're not getting your money back on that sale. So really be careful. Make sure you actually can complete the quest that you're taking and not being over ambitious, because you're better off completing a quest quickly and getting a mid reward versus shooting for the moon and just getting shot down and getting 8th place. And finally, don't forget about the quest. I know quests are new, and I know you're playing the game and you might get excited, and we're all guilty of this at times. We're just going along and we're doing really well in the game, and then we kind of forget about your quest. And you can win without doing your quest. I've done it many times. Not on purpose, just because that's the way the game played out. But you definitely want to play to that quest because it's going to give you extra power almost every single time. So definitely consider during the entire game, can I complete my quest? Should I take a turn off from tiering where I normally would here to now complete my quest early so I get more value? Those quest rewards, some of them are really big and accumulative in some cases, so completing them early makes them much more valuable. I want to thank my community. I asked them, hey, give me some examples of bad habits you have and things that you could get better at the game if you could just get over these humps. These are all things that many players suffer from, and they definitely need to improve upon these habits so they can get better. You're going to look at these 12, 15K players, and they're not making these mistakes. They're 100% focused on the game for the most part. There's no way I can put it. Jeef is kind of a genius at the game. Anybody at that level of play, a top 10 player, is amazing. Top 25, top 50, 200. These are people who live for the game. So do not judge your quality as a player versus them. They play all day. They live, breathe the game. That's the biggest mistake you're making. If you're judging your value as a player and enjoyment of the game versus players like this, they are the best. They're the GOATs. We're average players. We're having fun. It's a game. Just enjoy it. If it comes too competitive for you and you're getting mad at it, then find a way to change it. That way it's fun again. Because if you're mad because you're not making the perfect plays all the time, you're not enjoying it, and it's just a game that sucks. That's not great. If you can fix that habit, you'll be a hell of a lot happier. Thanks for watching all. I hope you learned a few things. I hope you had a good time, and I really appreciate everyone's watching. I love doing this. I'll catch you all next time. Later.